I've been serving with the deacon team for the past almost 4 years now, which is super sweet. Thanks, Jenny. And so if y'all have been here for the past couple of weeks, you know that October is Mercy Month, so it's a time for the deacon team to share with you all a little bit more about the work that God is doing through the deacon team, not only within our church body, but also in Indianapolis. So this morning we're going to be highlighting specifically our internal deacon care teams. So these are teams that if someone is in crisis or maybe in a season of transition, these teams would be stepping in to help support people in tangible ways. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the MealTrain and visitation teams. So those are two separate teams. I have Trisha McHugh with us this morning. She's been serving on both teams for the past year or so, I believe. And then I also have Amanda Huron, not Josh Huron, as you saw in your bulletin, but they will be swapping out this morning. So for both services, they're tag teaming it. Who has been on, served in informal ways with MealTrains and also has been on the receiving end. So Trisha, I want to start with you. Can you just share a little bit about how you got connected and what drew you to these teams?
Thanks. Like she said, my name's Trisha, and this past year, I was feeling really overwhelmed because I wanted to be able to be doing more for our church and community. But I had just started a new job and just bought a new house, and I was feeling like, okay, I'm going to commit to something, and then 2 or 3 months down the road, I'm going to feel overwhelmed, and I'm going to have to back out, and it's going to be really hard because I'm going to be letting someone down. So just feeling really kind of overwhelmed in that regard. But then last year during Mercy Month fair, I got to speak with Julianne, and she had mentioned about potentially joining kind of our food train. And what that looks like is every so often we'll get an email saying that somebody has brought a new member into the family or is in a point of transition because they've had a surgery or something like that. And they're just looking for one less thing to think about in terms of, hey, you know, I don't want to have to think about what am I going to make for dinner tonight? And so it's a really easy way for me to join in. And you don't have to sign up for every single meal or every single time that you get an email. It's just really what works best for you. I'm a big advocate of Instacart. And so I'll just throw a couple things in my cart when I say, hey, this person needs a little extra help. And then I'll bring that on over. If it doesn't work for me to actually bring over a meal, I can send a gift card or send money just so that they can go stop by Subway or something like that. It's a very simple and practical way for us to get involved and serve our church and community, which I've really enjoyed doing. And then in addition to that, I've been part of the visitation team. Jenny Benzinger last year had reached out to me saying that they were looking for extra people to go and visit people within the hospital or different rehabilitation centers. And one of their kind of key pieces is not going and seeing members for like 2 or 3 hours if they're within the hospital. It's kind of more frequent, smaller visits. So, you know, driving on the way into work, stopping by the hospital, seeing, you know, a congregation member for 15, 20 minutes, checking in and seeing how things are going, or on the way home, different things like that can make such a big impact. As someone who's had a very prolonged hospital stay in the past, it can feel very isolating and lonely just being in the hospital day in and day out without really something to look forward to. So knowing that like your congregation is kind of coming around you and loving you and praying for you during that time can be really huge. So this is just my encouragement that whether you're a good cook or not, or you're a medical professional or not, these are really simple and practical ways to love the people within our congregation and just really give them those cold glasses of water.
Yeah, thanks, Trisha, for sharing. Grateful for, you even coming up to me and approaching me, even being willing to have that conversation and stepping out in faith and not really knowing specifically what it would look like, but being willing to step into that. So grateful for you serving on the team in that way. And then I also have Amanda here on here. Amanda, you've been on the receiving end of MealTrains during your time at Redeemer. Can you share about your experience with that and how God has used that?
We've just been blown away with the level of care our family has received for being at Redeemer for a relatively short amount of time, just going on 3 years, maybe close to 3.5 now. And in the course of these 3 years, Josh and I have both lost a parent. And having that care during the times of suffering and seeing a community come around us in a practical way has just meant a lot when we've been when we were navigating, taking care of our teenagers at home, trying to keep things afloat with those busy teen years, and also when their emotional needs are greater too, with walking through losing grandparents, and then having just somebody thinking for us in that way, it was just such a gift. And it's also something that meant a lot. I think that when you're going through a time of suffering or even a joyous time like welcoming a new baby, it is a calling that you're doing primarily the heavy lifting for. It's your trial, it's your new baby. And sometimes, like Tricia was saying, I can resonate with that loneliness of like, oh, okay, we're going to end of life meetings, we're going to hospice, we're sitting by bedsides, and or the loneliness of the middle of the night exhaustion feedings, or whatever it is that you're called to. It can be a grind and can be lonely. And so to have people saying, I'm going to think for you in this way, and I'm going to meet this practical need, and just makes you feel like when it talks about in the scriptures about the guys who lifted up Moses' arms, it's like, I'm just going to lift up your arms in this way, and I want you to feel seen. I want you to feel known during this trial. And even just a witness to our kids of just like people, they're like, oh, they keep bringing us meals. Like, it just was a sweet way for them to experience the gospel too, that we've just been really grateful for.
Thank you both for sharing, for being here this morning. And if you're interested in learning about maybe receiving care in either of these ways, or stepping into supporting your church body in any of these ways, there are little brochures packed lovingly into your bulletins. I will also be at the back of the sanctuary after the service. If you want to ask questions about logistics, what that looks like, come find me, come find either of us, and we'd love to share. So, and with that, please stand for the reading of God's Word.